Hey, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name's Lewis. This is my 11th gen Civic SI. And today we're gonna see if we can fit this 10th gen PRL Cobra intake in an 11th gen Civic SI. Now, I'm not the first person to do this. Axion Industries and E-Man, I'll tag them down in the description box below. They were the first ones to do it. And E-Man, I reached out to him and he pretty much told me everything I needed to do to make this work. So hopefully it works for an SI as well as it did for a hatchback. So yeah, let's go ahead and do the unboxing and go ahead and get started. All right, let's begin by removing the old intake. I'm gonna use a 5/16 to remove the clamp. Okay, next we got to remove the mass airflow sensor. Be careful not to drop them, they're not captive. To remove the bottom half of the airbox, it looks like it's held in by about 3 10mm screws. There is a bracket attached to the bottom of the airbox. So instead of taking off these two, I'm just gonna take off the one for the bracket and take the bracket and the bottom half together. Okay, we're gonna have to remove this portion of the airbox as well. Just 2 more 10mm screws. And it looks like a tab. Should just come out. Okay, so next you're gonna wanna start removing the wheel well liner, and it's held in by this screw, I believe 1 10mm screw underneath and a couple of these locking tabs. Okay, so I pulled the wheel well liner back and it looks like the resonator that belongs to the intercooler charge piping that needs to come out, along with the brackets that hold it in. So you're probably gonna need PRL's Resonator Delete Kit. It just removes the resonator and puts this little blank off rubber thing in its place. The resonator is not needed, it's just there to really dampen the sound of the whole turbo system intake. And yeah, so you don't need it. I'm gonna go ahead and take it out and I'm gonna see if it works. Okay, so I went ahead and removed the resonator for the charge piping, and this is what it looks like. It was a total of 3 brackets, not 2. Yeah, it was kind of a pain, but you could definitely do it by peeling back the wheel well. And this is the part that connects to the charge piping. It's just a 10mm clamp, and yep, like I said before, this is what's gonna go in its place, and you should get some better sound, hopefully. Let's find out. I'll show you where it goes. Okay, I apologize if this is a little shaky. I'm holding the camera, and right there is where the blank off little rubber thing is gonna go. Right there. And I'll show you guys that whenever it's installed. So this is what it looks like installed. It's really straightforward. It's one clamp, one rubber hose that terminates where the resonator used to be. And now, onto this side, we can see that I went ahead and routed the first part of the intake. It's pretty easy. It just slides straight in. The side with the 2 bolts are going to be on the bottom end, and the side with 1 bolt is going to be on the top end. So this is going to be the bracket that you use, and it's going to go like that. A little bit better aligned than what I got it, but you get the picture, and I'll show you once I put it in. You're going to want to install this part without installing the filter first. It just makes life a lot easier for you. Okay, so this is what the lower bracket looks like. I'm assuming this is what the 10th gen SI bracket looks like installed. There's no real issues. This one right here has a nut behind it, so just be aware of that. The rest of them just thread right in. Okay, once you have the brackets installed, you can go ahead and install your air filter. And it should slide right in just like that. Don't forget to tighten up the clamp. This is a 5/16 clamp. And that's it, guys. You can go ahead and put the wheel well back together, and we can go to the top. Okay, so I wasn't able to run the top bracket, the 10th gens for the relocation of this clutch line bracket. It's just not the same between 10th gen and 11th gen. I can't make it work. And then the bracket also doesn't line up very well. If I put the bracket on, it's gonna push this part too close to the charge pipe, and I don't want it to rub against the charge pipe. So I'm just gonna go ahead and run without the top bracket, and then over time I'll see how that works. There's no rubbing or anything down there, so I'm just gonna run it without a top bracket and then hook it the rest of the way up and see how it does. Okay, so now we can go ahead and install the rest of the intake. This was a little tighter to get on. I think that the new SI's inlet pipe has a larger diameter than the old one. So this was a little bit tougher to get on. And then it involved, I had to get a larger clamp. So just a FYI, you're probably gonna need to be very patient with this to get the silicone on, and you might need a bigger clamp. I just ended up going with a bigger one. And then now we can just connect the MAF housing and install the mass airflow sensor. Okay, so there is a wrong way that you can install your mass airflow sensor. You just got to make sure that the arrow on the mass flow sensor is pointing towards the inlet of the turbo. It's been about a week since I installed the Cobra cold air intake on my 11th Gen SI. Remember, this is an intake for a 10th Gen SI. And so far I've had 0 issues. Everything runs perfectly fine. I don't have any check engine lights. Nothing's wrong with the MAF sensor. I had a lot of guys ask me if the MAF sensor fits. It fits perfectly fine. To sum up the install, everything pretty much goes in like it did in the 10th Gen. There's a couple exceptions. The silicone hose is a lot tighter of a fit. It does fit, but it's gonna take a little massaging to get it on there. Additionally, the clutch line relocation bracket that PRL provides you does not fit this little stud. It's not in the same location. It doesn't fit in the same location that it did in the 10th Gen, so you can't use it. And because you can't use the clutch line relocation bracket, you can't use the upper bracket for the intake. Now, you could make it fit if you did some modification. There's E-Man said to grind this stud off in order to be able to use it, and then you should be able to use the bracket then, but I didn't do that. I just went ahead and installed it the way it is. So right now it's supported by the mounting point at the top where it connects to the turbo inlet pipe, and then at the bottom where it has the bracket that supports it down there. So those are 3 things on the intake itself. And then you're going to need the Resonator Delete Kit from PRL, and it's because this giant thing gets in the way when you go to put the bottom half of the intake. This goes to the intercooler. It's not that hard to take off. I mean, it might take you a minute, but it's not that hard. You can do it all by peeling back the wheel well. So that pretty much sums up the install. I'll keep updating you guys. If you want to follow me on Instagram, just feel free to DM me and I'll be happy to answer any of your questions. Now, let's go take this thing out for a drive so you can see how it sounds and see how the car performs. Okay, so if you guys really like this video, please smash the like button, consider subscribing, and if you have any questions, leave it down in the comment section below. Follow me on Instagram, and I'll see you guys next time.